Welcome to Real Estate Real Talk with me, Skyleigh. I'm a realtor, coach, and founder of Forever Kamloops and Forever Kelowna Real Estate Groups and the creator of Elevation Real Estate, the realtor coaching platform. After nearly a decade in this industry, I've built a business that gives me more freedom, more income, and more time with the people I love. And now I'm here to help other realtors do the same. This podcast is for agents who want to build a thriving real estate business without burning out. We talk about scaling smart and building systems so you can buy back your life, because life shouldn't feel like all work and no play. And if you're a buyer or seller tuning in, consider this your backstage pass. You'll hear unfiltered conversations with top agents and industry pros, giving you the same insights we share behind closed doors. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better you can advocate for yourself and work with someone who truly has your back. Let's get real. Today we are meeting with Shannon Stone, and I am super excited. I was actually just telling her how I see her signs all over Kelowna, co-founder of the Stone Sisters group and a top producing team ranked among the top 10 within Remax Western Canada. Like, wildly impressive, you guys. So I am really excited to be meeting with Shannon today. Hopefully she can give us some amazing insights into running a real estate business, running a real estate team, because we all know how hard that is. And I always like to fail forward. So I think that I'm going to be picking your brain on some of your failures and learning from you. And hopefully it can give some good nuggets to people getting into the industry and people who have been in the industry and are struggling just to get to that next level. Because yeah, we all know how hard.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, and yeah, hopefully I can help and I'll learn from you as well. I mean, I think all of this in real estate is collaboration amongst all of us.
I agree.
And we're so lucky, I think, to work in such an industry that is so collaborative. You go to a conference, or even if you just run in, just as you and I were just chatting, and it's okay, can I pick your brain? What about this? What about that? And I find most are pretty helpful. And so hopefully we can learn from each other. And I think that's so important.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me.
Seriously, thank you for being here. And I do feel when I got into the industry 10 years ago, can I ask you how long you've been in the industry for?
Yeah, 20 years I've been selling for.
Perfect. You've doubled me. I think that's amazing. Now I have 10 years. Now you're going to be able to pull even deeper from the 10 years before that, which is amazing. But even when I first started 10 years ago, I don't think that the industry was as collaborative as it is now. And I'm so grateful for it to be more collaborative, because there's enough business for everyone. Like, there just really is. And I feel like the more people focus on the external things and being like, oh, this person did this and I'm not going to share my trade secrets because then they're going to go and do it and they're going to be successful. I'm like, just focus on you. Focus on you. And that's like even in like friendships and relationships and all the things. There's so much noise and external factors. But if we all just focused on ourselves and cared about what we could do better, I think that the world would just be such like a magical place. So I love the collaboration.
I agree
that the industry has gone towards in the relationship building, and that we don't need to hide secrets. And the more we actually share with other agents, it's actually better for consumers, right? Like, our job is to help people buy and sell real estate and to make sure they've had a great experience. And withholding information from other realtors is actually like bad for the industry as like a whole. So yeah,
I agree. And that's the thing. We're all here to benefit and help the industry. So I think the more we collaborate, and I agree with you that it's gotten more collaborative, and we are here to benefit the whole industry as a whole. And let's face it, we don't get along with everybody. Not everybody is going to think that wants to work with me, or vice versa, right? So there's enough clients, as you said, out there, and everybody is a certain fit. And if we're all just holding ourselves accountable and doing the right thing, I think that it just helps and protects the industry as a whole.
Yeah, totally. So your sister, Stone Sisters Group.
Yes.
So cool that you get to work with your sister. How did that kind of come about? Tell me how this kind of came to fruition.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the quick version. But so we grew up in a real estate family. So our parents started selling real estate here in Kelowna in the 70s. Actually, the year that I was born, my dad got his license. And so we grew up negotiating around the dinner table. He was your typical realtor, I think, back in the day, back in the 80s sort of thing. And he worked all through the recession when people were basically throwing their keys at the bank and everybody was defaulting on their mortgages. And so he worked in a hard market, and we got to witness that growing up. My sister worked alongside my parents for a couple years, and then my dad retired, and my mom got into the business as well. So it was truly a family business. And when I say that my sister worked alongside my parents, she didn't work with them. They weren't partners. She ran her business, they ran theirs, and they just marketed together. And so my sister was always bugging me. She's like, Shannon, get into real estate, get into real estate. You should really do it. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. So I went and got my business degree. I love marketing. I always thought I'd have a marketing company, which is what we have actually. So that was my direction. I did marketing for a bunch of different companies. And finally, when she stopped bugging me, I'm like, I think I'm going to get my license. She's like, yes. So we partnered. So she had been selling for 10 years actually prior to me getting in.
Wow.
And at that point, my parents had long retired. She was just working on her own. She had an assistant, but was just running off her feet.
Yeah.
So when I got into the business, same thing. We didn't know if we'd work right together. We didn't know. We'd always gotten along. We have a fantastic relationship, but we didn't know for sure if we'd work really well, if it would, how it would work. So we thought 6 months. We always do things for 6 months, but 6 months we'll just work alongside each other. She was going to train me. So she did. She put me in her back pocket. I trained with her. At the end of the 6 months, it was like, this is a no-brainer. This is amazing. And that's when we formed Stone Sisters. So I had been licensed for 6 months. Then we became Stone Sisters, changed all of our marketing, and started to grow a business.
Crazy. And you said a few things that it's funny because you don't realize that all these things go together until you're actually in it. But you said that you have your BA, and that I don't think that people realize that being able to run a business and real estate go together. Like when I got into real estate, I wanted to sell houses. I didn't realize I was running a business. Like I had no
Yes,
idea that I was running a business, but I love business. I just had no idea that it was this like went hand in hand. And same with the
for sure.
marketing and psychology behind all of it. Those are also things that I love that I didn't realize were a part of real estate. It's
Yeah.
it's interesting when you put all these like puzzle pieces together and then you're in the real estate industry, but there's so many other components that your background obviously helps. And it does make sense that it was a no-brainer after you got your feet in. So that's super cool. I love that
Yeah.
you work with your sister. I love my sister. If I could have a business where I got to see her every day and like work with her, I think that would be really fun.
We're so lucky. We have so much fun. People we take what we do very seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. So we laugh a lot. Our office is a lot of fun. All our agents, our whole brokerage is really fun. So we're
That was
lucky.
something that I did want to talk about. You talked about team culture, and it's something that I have been really thinking about. And I think it's so important for having a group of people who want to work hard and is people that have fun together. I don't take myself super seriously either. But I do work really hard. But I'm like, if I'm not having fun doing it, I'm not doing it. Like
Yes,
I'm
so
not doing
true.
it because life's too short. So it has to be
Hmm.
fun. But
For
I do
sure.
work hard. So team culture. Tell me about how you built team culture because I think it's a really big thing that people are missing in their businesses. There's so many people who start teams that fall apart. I have had my team fall apart and now I have shrunk down to be lean and mean. And yeah, I want to hear about the team culture and how you were able to like build that out.
Yeah, and I think it certainly didn't happen overnight. We've been doing this now for 20 years, so it's taken time to build that culture and that really good culture. And I would say now we have a really good group of people. We all have the same value system. And I think that's something that's really important. We look and when we're hiring, we hire on the fact, okay, are you hungry? Are you going to work hard? Because everybody, including ourselves, and it's not as though we're sitting there saying, yeah, you go and work, and we're just going to sit back and relax. Like you have to be in there working just as hard as everybody else if you expect them to do. And I think that's the key is everyone knows I'm available 24/7 and I work probably way too much, but I'm also addicted to it. That's a whole other thing. So
Yeah, those dopamine hits. Well, we were like texting at like 10 o'clock at night last night. Like,
I know.
I'm also
So,
always
but
available, but I love it. It feels like I'm not working. I get to make new
that's the
friends
thing.
and meet new people. Come on.
And that's, yeah, when you love what you do, as you said, then you just want to do it, right? It doesn't seem like work. And I think that's a key is, for everybody that we bring onto our group, and we are a brokerage, so we're not a team. We're a sub brokerage. So we are Stone Sisters is its own brokerage. So I just be careful when I say the word team because we're not technically
No,
a team.
perfect. I'm glad that you gave me some clarification because I wasn't 100% sure. Like I knew that you were like affiliated with Remax, but there's so many different breakdowns as to how organizations can work. So I'm glad that you're
Yeah.
clarifying. So your Stone Sisters is the brokerage leg.
Yeah, so we're called Remax Kelowna Stone Sisters. We're our own
Got it.
entity and brokerage. There's 12 of us there. We've got a team of the admin team is the only team. Tamara and I are registered team together. Tamara and Shannon are Stone Sisters group. That's the only team. But otherwise, everybody else is independent agents at our brokerage.
Got it. Okay.
But we still, of course, business practices and those types of things, we collaborate together. It is under our brand. And so that's really important that we all work together. So when we bring on an agent, as I said, we want them to be hungry. So we want them to be able to work hard. They have to be ethical. So they're always going to be doing the right thing. They're a team player. It's really important that I scratch your back, you scratch mine. We have our agents because life is short, as you said, and it's important to make sure that you have that work life balance. And that's something that we really try to protect within our group, that you want to have time away. You're not going to feel guilty about it. It's no problem. Take that time away. Someone is going to be there to help and jump in and run your business and support you, so that our agents do get flexible time off and they just help each other out, which is nice. And as I said, do the right thing. They have to be hungry and they also have to be smart. And when I say smart, I don't mean smart as in book smart, that's great, but people smart, as you talked about. It's the psychology, it's all of those things. We look for someone when we're bringing them on, and we've become quite specific of who we bring on to our group. And we look for them to be smart. Can they interact with people? Can they, the other stuff we can train, but we can't train street smarts in a sense. So those things are important to us. And because we've narrowed it down of who we're looking for when we bring somebody on, everybody is similar in that regard. Everybody has the same sort of work ethic. Everybody has the same values. That wasn't always the case. We've had people at our group that didn't fit that, and we would let them go. So we're pretty clear on what our expectations are, and we do have high expectations, but everybody follows that. And I think that helps because everybody knows where they stand within the group. And Stone Sisters as a brand, we're really careful in telling everybody it's not Tamara. And I know we're the front of the brand. We started it, but Stone Sisters is all of our agents. And I'm really clear saying that to them often, to say, if you do something, you're not hurting us. Yes, you are in a sense, but you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your partner. You're hurting the person that's sitting next to you at the desk, because we're all building a brand together and it's no longer our brand. It's bigger than that. It's all of yours. So they take ownership in it, and they're all very protective of the brand and what it stands for and what they do to contribute to that. So I think all of those things help. And another big thing too, I think, which I see a lot with realtors that start teams, is they're competing with their agents that are on their team. And we don't compete with them. We have agents that listings come in, the agents goes on. So we run things a little differently. We're by no means competing with any of our agents. And I think that's a big thing. It's very collaborative, and yeah, they can run their own business within sort of our systems.
It sounds like you have built like a wonderful like community though. And I think that community is the thing that keeps people long term, right? Like we talk about team culture, but when you have that kind of community where everybody is holding each other accountable and has each other's back, it does pay back in like dividends, right?
Yeah.
Something for me, something that I learned recently, you had said this, and I think that is probably something that I have made a mistake on a number of times, and I need to be better about my I'm getting better with boundaries. I do have to say this last year I've learned to have more boundaries, but you said that you have a certain level of expectation within the team culture and that people are fully
Mm-hmm.
aware of that. And something that someone had said to me the other day was that the difference between expectation and standards is that expectations can change, or people feel like expectations change, whereas standard is once it's done, like if you miss it, then you miss the standard completely. So the expectation, I feel like your expectations are actually probably more standards, because it sounds like if they don't hit the standard of what you're saying is applicable for the team culture in the community, you're pretty fast to make the decision that it's not going to work. For me, that was my mistake, is that I tend to make excuses for people for why they do the things they do.
Oh, us too.
And I'm
It's
like, I
hard.
need
I
to stop
totally
doing that.
agree.
I need to be, somebody needs to whack me and tell me, like, stop making excuses for people. So,
I know it's hard. I'm the exact same as you. Like that part is hard because it's hard to let people go and you feel bad. And so, yeah, that's certainly something that we're continually learning. We certainly have learned that over the years.
but the team that you have and the group that you have, I think it probably would make it easier having everybody on the same page. Because for me, if I was doing it and it was only me that had the standard and everyone else was deviating from the standard, kind of like pushing a boulder up a hill. But it sounds like your team is all on the same page for the standard that you guys expect. So when someone does come in that's not really upholding the standard, sounds like, I'm hoping you guys all have each other's back when you're like, yeah, this is not really working, and you're supporting each other, being like, we're gonna adjust, pivot.
Yeah. And our agents are involved when we bring somebody new on. We'll have the agents at the group meet with that new person before we bring them on to make sure that they all feel, okay, culturally, this can be a fit. Because sometimes people might be at their best behavior with Tamara and I, and we're aware of that. And then when they meet with the agents and go for a coffee or go for lunch, they pick up different habits. And again, it's that street smart, which you can really pick up on some of those sort of habits when it's a one-on-one with somebody that they feel is not who's going to be hiring them, sort of thing. So you get a better feel for that. So we've had some of our agents meet with realtors we're thinking of bringing on, and they've said, not the best. And so we haven't brought them on. They do have a say in who we bring on and who's going to be a cultural fit for us.
I like that. It's almost like that their table manners go out the window when they go one-on-one with the team, not realizing
It's
that
so true.
you guys are
Like you
all on the
see a
same.
lot of different things. I could tell you many stories.
You're like, what's happening? Oh, what is happening? That's so funny.
Yeah.
Leadership and longevity. So how long have some of the people in your brokerage been around for? I'm assuming that you've had some people for a long time.
Oh yeah. We've 10 years, 12 years. We've got some. Yeah, everybody's been with us for a number of years. We hired a new fellow this year, is our newest hire. So he's our newest. He's been with us now for probably 6 months. But apart from that, everybody else is years. Our
Really
average is
aligned.
probably 6 years.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna
We're
have
a
to get
family.
on the
We
full
call our
breakdown
work
values and stuff.
group. Yeah, our work group is our family. Like it's called our work family. All our admin is okay, work family. And our admin is hilarious because they'll come to me and our office manager, and she'll be like, I just want to make sure that they're meeting those standards as you talk about. I just don't know that they are in this level or what have you, or they need a bit of help. So everybody's, as I said, protective. And I think they feel ownership of the brand, of what it is. So I think that's what's helped our culture.
Yeah, no, yeah, I love that. And then we did talk about, it's not all work with no play. So what are some fun things that you guys do as a team and team building activities?
Yeah, so we always do a kickoff event. We do one in January. So beginning of the year, we'll run through, we unload, okay, what's the marketing budget for the year? What's the marketing plans for the year? What are we doing? Where's our spend? So everybody knows what they're part of, because I think that's important. So we do that. We release all the stats from last year. We do fun things where we gave a crown for the highest sales. We did a couple fun things this past year where we gave certificates for the office, best person in the office, and just a few different things. We give rewards that are just fun stuff. And we do things where everybody has to, for the year, pick a word for their year. And lots of people do that. And then we make them coffee mugs. So they get their coffee mug for the year that has their word, are you holding true to your word? So we keep each other accountable. We do weekly meetings in person. So we meet once a week where we just share what's happening in the market. Often we'll be talking about some sort of tips that we can share with. We do bring in speakers and that sort of thing. And then we do fun things. We just did a summer kickoff where we just had a summer barbecue. It was actually one of our agents hosted it up at her house. She lives on a farm. So we were up there, had a barbecue, hung out in the pool. We've gone skiing where we went snowshoeing up at Big White. So in the wintertime, we'll go do an event that's getting us all together. And then we do client events where everybody's expected to come to. We do a pumpkin party, we do a movie in the park, we do lots of things where all the agents are at. And so we collaborate together there. And of course, Christmas party, spouses are coming to that. As I said, we really are this work family. We've gone on wine tours together. We've had magicians come in, and every couple months we do a fun thing. So we meet weekly that's business and serious and talking strategies and that sort of thing. And then every quarter we do something that's fun.
But I love the client appreciation events. I also try and do a client appreciation event every year. We've done some like client appreciation events. Now I'm like stuttering on my words. And I've done that around Christmas time where we've actually been able to give discounts to people who are going and getting a Christmas tree, because there's a winery that we have in Kamloops that actually does the Christmas tree farm around the holidays. So that one was a fun one that we've done in the past. And I also do like ice cream weekend events where like everyone can go just bring there's like a graphic that we post, and I'm like, anyone who brings in a graphic, bring your family, bring your friends, bring whoever, go get an ice cream on us, take a picture,
That's
you and
awesome.
your kids eating ice cream, and send it our way. And it supports like local businesses. I love the community events and I'm giving back.
It's so good. And you're so smart to open it up to everyone. Do you ever watch Survivor?
My mom is obsessed with Survivor right now. Her and her girlfriend, they're ridiculous. They'll drink their wine, and I've heard all about it. But anyways, continue on.
Okay, so there was a fellow who was on, he didn't make it, but he went pretty far. Q was his name on Survivor, and
Okay.
he's the number one Remax realtor in the States, in the US. Huge volume of business, does really well. Anyway, he came to speak at one of our mastermind groups. And his big thing is he says he does the same thing, like an ice cream sort of thing. He'll go to the local place that's the mom and pop store and say, okay, I'm buying ice cream for the next 2 hours. Anyone that comes in to get the ice cream, it's on me. And he promotes it and tells everybody. And he just stands there. Everybody lines up. Like he says, he gets a huge turnout of people. He invites clients and invites just the public. He announces it to everybody on social media. So he gets lineups of people, and then he just walks up and down the lineup, introducing himself, talking to people, buying them all ice cream. Doesn't matter if they're a client or not. And it's so brilliant because he's putting himself in front of all these people and also giving back to people. So anyway, it's a neat
Yeah,
idea.
I love it. And I, again, love supporting local businesses. So you could do that for not even just an ice cream shop, but if there is a new business in town that's just trying to get their like feet off the ground, we all know how hard it is to run a business. Like
Yeah,
exposure, right? All the marketing, all the energy that goes into it. There's so much front loading that comes in. And yeah, if we can help make people's lives easier within the community for getting a business off the ground, I am all for it. I just think that banding
I
together.
agree. For sure. I agree. Yeah, it's that collaboration that we talked about in the beginning too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So then what are some like key practices and like values that you have? Like I know that we talked a little bit about having the high EQ and like you're going to be working hard. Is there anything outside of that we missed? Are all your meetings like mandatory meetings?
Yeah, so like
That
the
was something that I
systems more
had
side of
had a bit
things.
of a problem with. It seemed like everyone was like, "Oh, I have showings booked." And I'm like, "Book around the meetings."
Yeah, our meetings are mandatory. The odd time we'll have one of our agents book something, but it'll be a closing that's happening and they have to give them the key. Like it's
Right.
something that really is set to that time on that day. Everybody knows when the meetings are. Our rule is you can schedule it because you know when it is. It never changes. It's the same time every week. So you have to be there. And they are. They all come. And I think part of that is they want to be there and they come, and at the same time they want to make sure that they're doing a good job, and I think that's part of it too. And I think our meetings are pretty good. They bring good value. There's always tips that people learn, always ways that we can help their business or whatever they're going through. Right now is a tougher market for sellers, so it's keeping your sellers happy. So we're talking about strategies. How do you overcome those obstacles and tidbits on that sort of stuff. So I think they all find great value in going to the meetings. We don't have an issue with agents not going. It's not that we've said, hey, it's mandatory, but it is mandatory and everybody follows that. So that's good. We have certain standards which they know. We have a policy manual. When you join with Stone Sisters, you have a book that you have to read, and we're pretty systemized and everything's well communicated and documented. But if you get a lead that comes in, you have to get back to that lead within an hour. We have systems and protocols and if you aren't doing those things, the lead's gone. And so they know what those standards are. It's really clear on that front. Getting back to your clients, we do weekly. So you have to talk to your sellers every week. And we give guidance on, okay, here's the stats for the week. I narrow down the stats. I'm a stat person. I love looking at stats. So every week I give the agents tidbits to talk to their clients, because a lot of times, especially as I said, in this market, it's a little tougher for sellers. It's like we've had our agents be like, what do I talk to them about? Yes, your house isn't selling, you're not getting showings. It's yeah, but talk about what is happening in their price point between 2 and 3. Has there been anything sell? Maybe not in their neighborhood, but has there been anything? What's the inventory doing? Is it coming up or is it going down? Because if it's going down, that's promising. Then maybe there'll start to be some movement there. Houses that have come on the market, check in with the competition. Have they had showings? Or there's always things. We talk a lot to agents across Canada. So I'm always sharing tidbits of what are we seeing in Vancouver's market? What are we seeing in Calgary and Toronto? And those are tidbits that they can share, because a lot of times those markets will affect our market too. So it gives an indication of what we're going to see. They talk to their clients once a week. That's mandatory. The admin that we have, they send lots of communication to all of the sellers on all the marketing pieces and all of those. But yeah, apart from their having to be at our meetings, which are once a week, getting back to leads and those types of things, they are running their own business. We don't say, okay, you have to be in the office cold calling this amount of times or doing these things. We do periodically cold calling times where the agents that are wanting to, maybe those that are their numbers aren't at where their goals are and they're a little bit behind, we'll meet and do cold calling sessions, and we'll do training on cold calling, and we'll just all sit and pick up the phone and phone. So we do training with the agents on certain aspects of the business that's necessary. Sometimes it might be having those difficult conversations with the seller to get the price down. So we'll do a different session than our normal weekly one, and we'll do role playing on how do you get the price reduction?
Yeah.
And how do you get a buyer to sign buyer agency? What does that role playing look like? And so we do all of those. Those aren't mandatory, but the agents that aren't meeting their goals, they will be there.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
practice. I do think it's like the practice is something so valuable, and having that accountability group behind you. Even for people who have been in the industry for an extended period of time, like our skills can be dull and they
For
need to
sure.
be sharpened. And even showing up and teaching other people, it keeps you on your toes as well. And something that you mentioned that I feel like a lot of agents don't realize is that when they do get into real estate, they are running their own business. I don't know where the
Yes.
disconnect comes from for when they get their license and that they are like, they're not an employee anymore. You are a business owner, and you do have to shift your mindset from being an employee and being told what to do every single minute of the day to I'm running a business, and how am I going to grow that business, and what are my goals, and how am I going to reverse engineer that to being like the daily activities that I can do to make sure that it is moving forward. So what kind of conversations do you have with your agents in order to move from the employee slash like agent mindset to being like, hey, I'm a business owner, this is my baby and I need to like grow it?
Yeah, I guess we share with them what we do. And so for us, I look at it and I have things that I have to do every single day. Some of those things are work related, some of those things aren't work related, but it's all getting me to where my goals are.
Yeah.
And the big thing is for the agents is, and for myself too, is what is your goal? And that's, we sit down at the beginning of the year and they pick what their financial goal is. And that's great. And I know this is something that you talk a lot about, or you have before on past podcasts. I think it's actually on your website too, is what's the why?
Yeah.
It's great to have a number in the sky. That's awesome. Perfect. Can we get there? Probably. But why are you going to get there? What's that going to do for you?
Yeah.
What is your why? So I'll sit with the agents. One of our agents, I sat with her and I just said, so why are you doing this? Like, why are you wanting that goal? She's like, I feel like that's attainable and I think it'll be a really good goal and it would just be really nice to get that. And I'm like, great. Okay. So why? And I had to keep probing her. And actually she got quite emotional once we dove down to it.
Yeah.
And she said, I want to be able to buy things for my kids just because. She's, I don't want to feel guilty that I want to get them a new hockey stick. I want to just be able to do that and not think twice about it. And she said, I would love that luxury. And I'm like, okay, perfect. That's your why. I'm like, so let's break that down. That's your why. At the end of this month, you want to be closer to that goal. So let's break that down. What are you going to do today that's going to help you there? And reward yourself. So if your big goal is to get that and it's buying stuff for your kids or what have you, break down a goal. At the end of the month, if you do all of your tasks that you're wanting to do, then maybe you can go and buy your son something. And that's the reward because you get that piece that fills your bucket.
Yeah.
So we break down those goals as to rewarding, because I think a big part of goal setting is, yes, you can have that goal, it's out there. You need to figure out the why it's driving you. Then you need to figure out rewards to get there along the way. Because if we don't get any rewards, why are we doing it? We're going to lose our motivation really quick.
Oh my gosh. I really do strongly believe that. So my son, just a little backstory too. I love stories. Facts tell, stories sell. So for anybody,
Totally. So
we're gonna
true.
like solidify how important these like little wins are. So my son, he's been struggling. He's in kindergarten. He's actually going through like autism like assessment right now. He's been really struggling. And the school and I came up with a sticker chart for him. And the sticker chart, originally it was like, okay, you can earn a sticker a day and then he can buy things with his stickers, right? There's a little legend on the side that says how much each sticker is worth. But the goal was too big. He was not able to make it through a whole day to get a sticker.
Yeah.
And then it was like, what's the point, right? Or like by the time he made one mistake, the sticker was gone anyway. And now he just blew it up for the whole day. So what's the point of even trying the rest of the day?
Yeah.
There's so much psychology behind these rewards, right? Like we have chemicals within our body. I love psychology. I feel like you have mentioned psychology a little bit too. So we do. We have dopamine receptors, and like all the things that we do throughout the day is like feeding us little hits of dopamine. It's our reward center. So if we're not like getting like little hits of it, we're not going to keep pushing through. So I ended up talking to the school about this, and I was like, how do we get this so that he feels these little wins and it's encouraging so that we can build some momentum to get the bigger thing. And so we ended up breaking it up into 3 stickers for the day, because if he made it to recess, sticker. If he made it to lunch, sticker. And if he another one. And then if he made it to after school, he'd get another one. But if he didn't make it to the one, it would reset for the next block. But those little wins were able to compound. And then he ended up saving like 50 something stickers and ended up getting an excavator. It's ridiculous how those little wins can compound to be something so big. And for your teammate that is, I really want to be able to go buy the thing for my son without even having to bat an eyelash at it. It's a big goal, and it has daily activities that need to happen on a daily basis. But if you're not rewarding yourself every single day, like even in a small way, you're never going to get to that big
100%.
goal. And it does have to move you emotionally. I think it has to like matter so much that it makes you like lose sleep.
Yeah. And you have to figure out what it is, because when you're looking at your list of cold leads, are you going to make 5 more phone calls because you know that your goal is that you want to get that hockey stick? Absolutely, you're going to make those 5 more phone calls. If you don't know that emotional connection and you just think, I want to make X amount at the end of the year, there's no emotion attachment. You're not going to make those 5 phone calls. It's going to be really hard to do that every single day.
Yeah, I agree. If anyone has not read this book, it was one of the first books that I ever read getting into real estate. It's The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And
yes,
it's massive. It's super massive. The concept is so easy to wrap your head around, but the power behind it is huge. So
yeah, I haven't read that book in a long time. It's a really good one.
It's a really good one. I actually should read it again too. Or like the entrepreneurial I can't even say the word
Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneur roller coaster. Let's just go with that. It's Darren Hardy as well. We'll just lean into it. Whatever I said. I'm gonna own it. I can't say the word, so it's fine.
It's all good. There's lots of words I can't say either, so I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I'm gonna make a blooper reel about it because I think it's that funny. Tools and systems. Ooh, big hole in people's businesses. So can you share with me some of the tools and systems that you've been using in order to keep your business organized? I'm a huge junkie for organization, and I love hearing all of the systems and stuff like that other people are using in order to keep it all standing.
Yeah. Some of our systems are pretty basic, but they work. So we have our great CRM. We use Follow Up Boss. It's amazing for us. We have all our checklists and everything in there. So I think that's important is one, we have checklists for every task. So a buyer comes into the system, they become into the automation of some of the campaigns that go out to them. So it is a system of new buyer comes in, they get an email right away, then they're on that drip of those emails. That buyer then goes and looks at properties, drip changes, goes to something else. They get an accepted offer. Again, a whole new checklist goes out. And so we've broken down each process of the buying cycle, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and we have systems and checklists for each process of that, if that makes sense. So that's a big one. And a lot of that is done through Follow Up Boss, which is really helpful. I think a part too that is really important, if not the most important, is understanding your numbers in the business and understanding where you are, what your spend is on, I want to say daily, but monthly. We used to be, and we've learned this. So by no means were we great at this, and I'm sure there's still lots of room for improvement on it as well. But when we first started, it was Tamara and I would sit and do our business planning, and we would write out a business plan for the year, what our spend is, everything else, and be like, okay, perfect, we're done that. Let's go have a glass of wine. And we worked hard for that. And then we wouldn't look at it again. Yeah. So what was the point? We had an idea of the direction we wanted to go. So that was good, but it was just in our mind. Like, we weren't really effective. And so now we look and we have what our spend is going to be, what our goals are financially. And then we track that. And I get reports every month, but I look at it more frequently than that. I look at it almost daily to look and go, okay, where are we? Where are we spending? Where's money going? Where's money coming in? Is it on track? Then when somebody comes to us, as we all get as realtors, someone comes and says, hey, I got this great new marketing idea. Can you advertise here? Or can you do this? We know where our spend is. We know if we can, we know if we can't. We always allocate an extra fluff fund, we call it, for those sorts of things that come up. But if it's out of bounds of that fluff fund, we don't do it. So it has to be in the budget for the following year. And I think that's something that's important. We are running businesses. And I know of a realtor who started in the business, this is a long time ago, but started in the business and did quite well. So her first year, she made 100,000. And I remember her coming and being like, yeah, it's good. I made 100,000 my first year. And this was a long time ago. So it was like, wow, your first year, you made 100,000. That's amazing. She's, yeah, it's great. She's, problem is I spent 120. I'm like, oh, okay. So it costs you to be in real estate. And it's easy to do, to be honest, because things are expensive. And if you don't have that track, you get caught up in it. We get caught up in going, hey, sure, let's add this marketing idea. Sure, that sounds good. Let's do this. And you need to have sort of a plan. So I think we just do it on Excel. All our spreadsheets are on Excel. We have our goals. We have tracking from last year to this year. We compare the last 5 years so we can see exactly where things are going. I think that's important. So that's a big one.
It is probably the least sexy part of our business.
It is.
It's not. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But yeah.
No one does.
No, I am not a numbers person. I have bookkeepers and accountants for a reason. But yeah, keeping track of your expenses and making sure that you're not I was notorious for spending the check before it would even hit my bank account. It did. Yeah. It took a number of roller coaster for me to be like, all right, I can't do that anymore. Stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, least sexy part of our business, but I do think it's like a really important aspect is to look at your profit and loss. And this is going to kind of segue into a little bit of marketing conversation as well. But being able to pick a few avenues for how you are going to generate leads and market your business. And then you mentioned this earlier that you try things for 6 months, which I think is amazing because there's so many people that I've talked to that they're like, it doesn't work. And I'm like, how long did you give it? And they're like, a month. And I'm like, that's not enough time. Like you have to do a commitment and then measure it and figure out what worked, what didn't work, what part was working, and then put more of your marketing dollars into the thing that worked, right? Like we're throwing money at things, not knowing where it's sticking and just hoping that it works out, which is a disaster recipe for running a business. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons that people fail in the first 5 years. Like they're just throwing things at the wall, hoping that it fits, thinking it's easier than it is, not setting an expectation for time limits on trying the different aspects. But that all is coming to my question of building a really reputable brand, because your guys' brand is like, it's stunning, beautiful, it's eye-catching. You clearly have done something right. So I want to know, and you can pull from your BA as well, and just tell me what you think is like some of the key components to building a brand and advice.
Oh, and I think a brand is so important. So of course, that's the marketing side of me. When I got into the business, I said to Tamara, I'm like, this is the direction we're going. We were at a small firm at the time. And I said, yeah, we're leaving this place. She's like, but I've been here for a long time. Why are we leaving this? And I'm like, because it doesn't fit with our brand. It doesn't fit with who we are, our image, where we're going. She's like, oh, really? Okay, you think so? So we switched, went to a big brand, which we needed to do at that point because we didn't have a brand. So that was important. I think consistency is important. I think figuring out who you are, who you want to be, and then making sure that everything you do is consistent with that. And we're in a different world now where everything is on social media. So everybody has access to different parts of your life that you probably normally would never have clients or business people seeing. And so I think it's important to be aware of those bikini shots on social media probably don't have. And it goes, I'm not saying you have bikini shots, I have no idea, but I'm just saying it's, but it's a different world that we're living in. And I think the consistency of who you are, who you want to be in work has to also be true to who you are, because it's going to be on your social media. If you see somebody that's super poised, professional, all of these things, and then you see their social media and you're like, oh, they're actually super fun and their social media gives a different feel, well, blend those two together, be who you are.
Yeah.
And if it's that fun and who knows, whatever it is, I think deciding who it is who you truly are and making sure that's who your brand is, I guess, is my point. And that's probably the most important step one, who it is you want to be, but make sure it's true to who you are. And for Tamara and I, we're sisters, we're family, trustworthy. We grew up in a very, not rigid, but very ethical family environment. That was important to us. That's who we are. And so we are that way at work, but we're that way everywhere too. That's just who we are. We're probably a little bit, I'll speak for myself. I shouldn't speak for her, but she's probably too, but we're probably both a little geeky, truly. We grew up that way and not the popular kids and just, but that's who we are. So that's who we are as a brand as well,
yeah.
If that makes sense. I think that's important. Consistency. My sister and I are always in white. When we're in any brand things, you'll see I'm in white today. That's our brand and we're consistent with it always. When we have our group for our brokerage, when we do photos, they're all in white too. I do have a big section. I get asked all the time, how much white do you have? And my closet has a ton. It's a big section of white. But it's important to make sure that you're conveying what that brand is and what that means. And I can get really down into the nitty gritty of it as far as what color choice you're using on your brand and what that conveys, because it does convey certain things. We picked white on purpose. It wasn't just I like white. Who likes white? Because you get dirt on it all the time. It's terrible. But I think it goes down to those.
I have, my kids are young right now, and I'm like, oh, the white would be a disaster. But I honestly, like, when you say white, it gives me like a white glove level of service, like, image in my head. Like like you said, you can get down to the nitty gritty of what things convey, but it does when you look at something like your sign, for example, or your logo, all those things. It's like, what does that make you feel? And is that translating into your voice and like your image? So I think
and who you are, because you can't be.
Sense, and I think
Yeah.
It's important to be authentic, because otherwise it's going to be really hard for you to keep it up. You should be authentic. You should be authentic all the time.
Always. And we're in a world that has to be authentic. Like, we're in a world that everybody has access to everything. So be truly who you are and don't shy away from that, because who you are is great. And there's going to be clients that fit with whoever you are, and they're going to fit with you more because you're being true to who you are. And that's the brilliant thing about it all, is that if there's some realtors, and I don't know if they're still doing it, but they would advertise and they had a dog. Imagine if that realtor actually hated dogs and they were just advertising. They're like, oh, this would be good. I'll go after dog owners because I think that's a good avenue of business. But they hated dogs. That's totally not the right fit. That's not being authentic to who you are. That's going to be really hard to convey when you're walking through properties with people and trying to build rapport. So be who you are, be consistent with it, spend time cultivating what that brand is. Don't just wishy-washy, I'm getting into real estate, I'm going to throw this out there. Spend some time. And I'm sure now with ChatGPT, there's lots of guidance that you can go through the process of what your brand is and what you want it to be consistent with. And I think for us, it's funny because I say this a lot of times, but I say to our group, I'm like, we want to be like Apple. And we don't want to be like Apple. We'll never be like Apple. But a brand is a brand. It means something and it is something and it signifies something. That's what all of us should be doing in our businesses, is what is that? And When you see that Apple signal, you know what, or that symbol, you know what that means. And that's how we should be all looking at our businesses and our brand to some degree. You
Yeah.
asked as well about marketing and trying things for 6 months. For us, that was a big thing for us to look at, because you would get these ideas, these marketing ideas, and you would think, okay, this sounds really good, but oh man, it's expensive, or should we do it? We just made that rule. We're going to try it for 6 months. And at that point, reevaluate it. If it's not working, we can get rid of it. If it's working, great, let's continue it. But it's that 6 month rule. We also do that with any major business decisions as well. If we're looking at trying something from not even just marketing, but a new strategy, a new system, if we're wanting to change our systems in our offices, we'll try it for 6 months. If it doesn't work, we'll reevaluate, we can get rid of it. It takes that pressure off of saying, okay, we're committing to this forever and ever. So that's been really helpful for us.
I really like that. And then actually, this leads me into the next kind of question for you. We're trying things for 6 months. So I have friends that are massive into door knocking. They're from the States. I feel like it's a big thing in the States. But I'm curious to know what you have done and tried and like really leaned into. So there's like mailers, there's door knocking, there's FISBOs, there's expireds, there's pay-per-click ads, right? Like all these things. So is there something that you have done with your team that has worked really well and you're like, this is like one of the biggest marketing pillars that we lean into?
Great question. And that's a long one. We used to do door knocking. So back in the day, Tamara and I did a ton of door knocking. And I think that also helped build our brand because we were out there. It's an inexpensive way to get out there and meet people. And we would go together. We dressed head to toe white. It was good for the time frame that we were doing it at. We don't do it consistently now. Some of our agents do. What we do though is we used to reward ourselves. This is just a side. I'll say this quickly, but we used to reward ourselves with shoes. We love shoes. So
That's
if
what
we
I did
went
when
and
I
hit
first
on,
started. I have all
yes,
these shoes. That's so funny. I'm sad Payless is gone. They had some good ones. My first pair was like this
yes,
pink
totally.
snake skin type. Ugh, they were so good. I still have them. They were the first pair of shoes I ever
Yeah.
bought.
See, it's good
Anyways,
reminders to have those. But that's the thing. You'd go and knock on, we'd make a pact. Okay, we have to knock on 50 doors or 20 doors or however it is, and we get a pair of shoes. Then you'd go up to the door. And if they slam the door on you, because yes, that's happened, then you're like, I knocked on it. That's okay. Okay, on to the next one. You wouldn't get bothered.
yeah.
But as far as marketing of what we're doing today in today's market, we do a lot of social media because you can target that, you can track it. We can look on Instagram, Facebook ads. We know if it's working. I really like the trackability of where the direction of marketing has gone now as opposed to where it was 20 years ago. It used to be you'd run an ad in the newspaper and you would just hope somebody saw it and there was no
Yeah.
tracking. Yeah. So social media side is great because you can track to see if people are engaging with it, watching it. It's more the watch of it, not necessarily the likes. Don't get discouraged by likes on things because lots of people don't like posts. That's just the way that the society is, the way it is right now. But we do mail outs. So we do have neighborhoods that we target specifically. We send mail outs out to them once a month. We give things of value. And this is something that we changed a little bit this year in our mail outs. We have a whole bunch of guides. So we have first time buyer guide. We have a downsizing guide or right sizing guide, we call it. We have moving to the Okanagan guide. We have selling your home. We have all these different guides that we've created, which are great. And so we do QR codes again, so we can track. So anytime you're doing a mail out, my advice would be put a QR code on there, specific QR code to that mail out, so you can track to see if people are downloading your information. And we give them something of value. Scan the QR code to get a right sizing brochure, download this and sign up for a right sizing seminar, or download this. We'll give you something for free. And it's just information. But I think sometimes as realtors, we think that everybody has all the information or the knowledge that we have. And a lot of times they don't. And if you can just help someone and give them information for free, you will get those people in your database. The key with that is we all are business owners. The more people you have in the database, the more value your business is, but the more leads you're going to have. And eventually, if you put those people on a drip, it might take 2 or 3 years, but eventually those people, some of them might come back to you or reach out for more information or what have you. We do a monthly newsletter. I think that's something that every realtor should be doing, and just touching base with our clients every single month with, it's always real estate related. I write them. They're yeah, they're whatever different ideas there are that we're seeing in the market. It's always different, but it's always real estate related, and that goes out monthly.
Yeah.
We also do buyer specific ones as well. So we always look at where the market is, and because the market, there's more sellers, there's fewer buyers. We do buyer specific email campaigns that are targeting what are the best buys that we see right now in the marketplace. Why are reasons to buy? Maybe why not reasons to buy? Should we hold off right now? What's happening with interest rates? But things that are quite specific to that demographic. So those are some of the things we're doing now. So social media posts, website, we do paid, we do Google ads. I would say spend your dollars more on Facebook and Instagram. You get more for it. Mail drops, those are good, but make sure you put a QR code on it so you can track it. And then dumb things I tell our realtors all the time. They sound like such little things, but I'm like, get out of the office. I hate when I go in the office and I see all the realtors in there. I'm like, get out. Go to a coffee store, put your business card down on the table and work on your computer in the coffee store. Everybody always has questions about real estate. And if they see your business card, they're probably going to,
I'm a realtor.
Yeah, they're going to ask you, wear your name tag to the mall, walk around the mall and go, oh, I left my name tag on. Sorry about that. Oh, you have a question about real estate? Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Just little things we can all do.
You reminded me of kicking the kids outside to go play. Go play.
Yeah.
Go.
It's the same. I'm like, go out.
It's true. It is so true. Like getting involved in community events too, right? Like even taking a cooking class or going and taking a pottery class, whatever, right? Like obviously you're not going to go do that every single day, but like you should have it in your calendar as a realtor to go do something that has the opportunity to meet new people. Like we are in a people business, and the likelihood is that if you are in real estate, you also like people. So
yes, very good point.
You're going to go meet people. It's fun where you're working, but you're not working. Like you might as well. That's why you and I are texting at 10 o'clock at night.
It's so true.
Oh, you're too funny. I could talk to you for hours, Shannon. I thank you so much for all of the information. Something that you said, you have a lead magnet for your mail outs. I don't think I have ever heard anyone doing a lead magnet for a mail out. That's so smart. With the QR code. Like most people just send it out and again, hope to see what sticks, and it's not measurable. So having it where you can measure, like you said, you are the numbers analytics person.
I know. Hey? Sometimes a bit boring, I know, but at least then it's working, or if it's not.
Smart. That's why you have a thriving business, and there's a lot of people who don't.
Thank you.
Smart. Okay, places to find you. Your website is just stonesisters.com. Easy peasy, right?
Yep, stonesisters.com. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Shannon Stone or Stone Sisters. I think our Facebook is Remax Kelowna Stone Sisters, but if you search Stone Sisters, you'll find us anywhere.
That's the beautiful thing about Google. Like just Google Stone Sisters or Shannon Stone, and I'm sure that all of the Instagram handles, Facebook pages, all the things will pop up. So hopefully you guys can go share some love with Shannon. Obviously, a abundance of knowledge and great at collaborating. So thank you again for coming on to the podcast. That's a wrap on this episode of Real Estate Real Talk. Whether you're an agent building your business or a buyer or seller trying to get the real story, thanks for being here. If this episode gave you clarity, confidence, or just something to talk about, I'd love for you to follow, rate, and share the show. It helps more people find these conversations. If you have questions or want to connect, head over to SkyleighMcCallum.com or come hang out with me on Instagram. Thanks for listening, and I hope you catch the next episode on Real Estate Real Talk.